So yeah, and part two here would be the final episode with this last car, if this is of interest to you. And again, this is a 1980 A-body Regal that I ordered back in '79. That I fully loaded it all up, and I would seed this thought, and some may say, well, oh my God, you wrecked it, and I'll get to that. Did I? And when you talk about T-types, have you ever, here's a good little test, and Dennis Kerbin's the expert, not me. There were T-types that we had where they did not have the 231 turbo power plant. They just had a regular 231, or in most examples, a 307Y, like Young engine, a V8, a small V8, a small Olds V8. Did you know that? Then why should this car be any different in that example? So it really is the same thing. It's just before its time. Interesting when you think about it. And, even now, okay, well, you had a Somerset. Well, I've seen like mid examples of Somersets come on the bay and won't even garner a $1,500 offer. So, let's say you got 15 mint Somersets and you sell them all. You still haven't got enough to buy one junk cracker can Chevy Avail. Anyway, I don't know. I'm still thinking on that. I guess it's if it's ruined, it's my ruined. So if your opinion is, well, you've ruined the car, then that's okay. I welcome that opinion, but I would just argue that twice nothing, still nothing, and it doesn't really matter in the end run, I guess. I do go to car shows, and not with this one much, but I did once, maybe twice. And, if it doesn't have a big 50-inch wheel that keeps spinning after the thing comes to a stop, how the spokes keep spinning, or it doesn't jump like a donkey or something up and down on pneumatics, there's nobody gives a shit. There's nobody, it's of no appeal. It doesn't even garner passive interest. So, I don't pretend to understand it, but that's what's going on. And oh boy, here we go again. No more Chevelles, not another Corvette. It's just, just no more. So I don't really even go to shows. And what do? You sit there like some heel, and people are supposed to come. I've never really understood any of that. You sit there and somebody's supposed to come up and tell you how great you are or something. To me, it's almost an arrogance. So, it'd be different if you were in a club and there were cousins or brothers and sisters, or were a particular body style or whatever. Or it could be just my area, I don't know. But, when you think about it, it's like, well, come look at me. And in this body class, somebody always had a Monte Carlo. What? In this example, a Monte Carlo, a Cutlass, or a Regal, and a Jimmy, a Blazer, a Bravada, a Montana, a Venture, a Silhouette, an Omega, a Nova, or a Ventura, They were all the same and different but the same. We used to get Chevys, in the X cars with citation badges on one side and Buick on the other. GMCs and Chevys and stores that have both and that kind of thing. So it is all kind of silly. So in the end, I guess you do it for you. So I guess, I don't have anything more to say on the topic. So anyway, I took the moldings to a guy and had them chromed and polished, and he ended up what he said would take 2 or 3 months took a year and a half, and then they were lost. So I ended up finding the moldings that I needed, and I don't want to get myself all upset about that topic, and don't even want to talk about it. But they aren't abundant, so it was hard. It was a tough order to fill and a hard call to follow, but I did find them. A lot of running, a lot of out of pocket. And a big lesson learned. But I got my kettlefish in the end. So here's the umbrella that I was talking about in video 1. And I don't know, because I loaded this up with so much stuff, I got one on the driver and the passenger side. And there's the back seat. And when it's just, you sink in heaven back there. It's just so comfy, so plush and nice. There was such a difference. And, you got that big full frame ride, and there's the headliner. Yeah, I redid that. Look at even a map light. How about that, huh? And this is in an era where if you had air, tilt, and cruise, your car was loaded. So there's that pretty chrome wheel and and the accents thereof. And these are the telltale lights. I won't humiliate you. And I know, look, there's some people, maybe millennials, that don't know what a telltale light is, but I won't insult your intelligence and tell you what it is. I'm sure you'll know. If you don't, look it up. And there's that turbo hood that, again, I later added. So he's fun to get out, more fun to drive. I don't ever let any of my cars, as I said, get wet, and I don't like them out in the sun. So, did I already say my boys have no interest in the car? Got 3 sons, and they don't want it, and my wife is even more disinterested. So again, you go to a show, and it's kind of I don't get that. Come look at me, and it's almost embarrassing to me. I mean, then you go to look, and then somebody might come, and they may have a question. So I don't really know how to react at a thing like that. But I don't want to put jumping bean stuff on my car to attract that attention. I'll look elsewhere for that. So anyway, look at the webbing here on the trunk. I want you to see the work and the detail amid the paint and all the rivets that hold in the key cylinder and so on, and the trunk solenoid. Isn't that something? I mean, it maybe speaks to the level of attention to detail when I decided to change the color. And even pulling the engine. Pretty severe, to paint a car and you pull the engine. And there's that badging again. Again, my rendition of what the car would have looked like, as I said in the beginning. And why the reasons are neither to or not, but they're just because. And there's no other reason. It doesn't merit any reason. It's a disposable car, I imagine is the end thought. And yeah, still the R12 AC. Don't ever retrofit your 12. You'll never like it. It won't work in the end. It'll always be in want. And this one's still like a freezer. And yeah, where do you get the 12? But you can get it. I got a cylinder of it. And the thing is, when you get it poked, you got to use it. So I don't poke this one, and because I don't have it out enough to use it. But there's those recall labels, one for a bumper bracket and the other for a rear brake cylinder. There was a rear brake cylinder bracket campaign. And I did both those campaigns. Look at the primitive cruise with a transducer. It's even got a light. That's that third white plug. A lot of example cars didn't have a light when you applied the cruise. You just felt the cruise work and there wasn't any light. There wasn't a low fuel light option available for this A body. I don't have that, but things that are commonplace now. Here are the fabric softener sheets, trying to keep the mice at bay. We all know what the mice is. The mice can do. Long day, I'm not talking right. What mice can do? And anyway, none of it good. So, trying to hold everything at bay there. I don't have the ultimate humidity-controlled environment. I park it on a wood surface and prop it up and all that, but that's about all I got. So, that's the first stage of denial amid the mice, right? Just have to hope and pray. And here's that pretty instrument panel again with that nice accent chrome ring. And you can see that dome lamp override switch. And you can also dump the power aerial so it doesn't run up and down all the time. And here's that fuel economy light I was telling you about. Watch that Prindle go into drive. And I'm going to show you what that would do. When you put the car in gear, that'll give you an idea of what overall fuel economy is. So, basically if you're a heavy-footed driver, you'll see the red light on all the time with basically 4 barrels or the 4-barrel open all the time. And if you're less aggressive, why, you get a green light, and, light is green, the trap is clean. Kind of laughable. It's so primitive. Look at the way fuel injection works and the way fuels are mapped today and looked at and amid picoseconds and frames of time with oxygen sensors and the like. So here's this cool rear window defogger. Remember, the windows would steam in the winter when you turn them on. They got so hot, you could melt, warm your hands on them like a hand warmer. Yeah, and then the C68 Air. Wish I had the C65. I could still put it on. I got all the parts to do it. And my cassette player with the 50-year anniversary of Abbey Road. Didn't someone just interview Richard Starkey about that? Ringo Starr. 50 years, my how the time passes. So yeah, there's those there are those silver panels again, and the Somerset badging, and the pretty chrome door panels, poles, not paddles. Well, paddles too. But look at the door jambs and the seals and all the webbing and the fender and the rubber. No paint on there. All around the pinch switches, all around the moldings, all around the A-pillars and the doors, and pulled the engine. And anyway, I said all that. Must be true. All the pretty chrome around the pedals. Well optioned car. All the carpet on the doors. So yeah, it was quite an endeavor. And here's a forward seat over on this side, and you'll see the other umbrella. I think we've already seen that in that pocket there. And the pillars are real nice. The sill plates, I guess I should say, are real nice, and they're polished and stuff. And again, it's a fun car to ride around in. It's just got that full frame feel. I had a big Monte Carlo. Just, oh my God, it just rode like a big Corinthian gunship. Go over a crown of a railroad track or something. You don't even feel it. And that's really not even a big car back in the day. So it's so funny, so funny. It really was a difference. And the '80s era cars are what I tend to like the most. I know it doesn't beat a Chevelle. They're the ones that go for $100,000, right? Somebody had one of these on the other day with 34,000 miles, and it didn't get a bid more than $3,200. Amazing. So I guess you never know. Anything in life is worth what you can get. Give me one example of anything that's a hobby. And car collecting probably is a hobby. Be it trains or boiler gauges or postage stamps. Well, maybe face value of money, or if you collect coins, is about the only thing that would hold its value. That has any example of a significant or any return at all. Anything. Did you have fun? Did you enjoy it? Well, then how are you going to put a price on that? And that's where you have to get your head. So, there may have been a time, and that time may come back. Who knows? Time tells all tales. And in that time, things can change in different settings. But no longer do you see a pop and his kid out with the hood of the car up, or like on the TV show The Wonder Years or what have you, and learning how to do things or how to check oil, or any dad showing his daughter or son or anybody about anything. Call a plumber, call an HVAC guy, call an electrician. I mean, yeah, the ball diamonds are all grown over, the erector sets are in the trash can, and now there's video game anger. And I was watching something on TV about how shrinks are saying that it's turning into an epidemic because they think the video game's looking back at them off the TV, and they hit the TVs like it's, funny, making fun of them that they lost. I don't know. I can hear my old man. Hey, if you'd have had all that business, you'd be farting with those video games. I don't know. I never played one. Never had a controller in my hand. Got too much interest in all my hobbies. If it isn't boiler gauges or blow torches, I don't know. It could be anything. I collect everything, and that's the fun. Just a life is such a myriad of things to collect. I got all my old stamps and shit, and I think, what am I going to do with all this? And nobody wants any of that. All the old paper, it's cool to look at. There's history in the making. Yeah, nobody gives a damn. That's the way it is. So everything change again is the essence of all things. So yeah, here I got the car out. It's up on the rack, and this is before I even put any polish on it. And that trunk is ajar, if you're wondering. Just kind of looking around. Look at that chrome, how it needs to be polished. And later I did with that good Meguiar's 3-in-1 polish. Joe, you said you ordered a couple bottles. I got a couple more. My friend, the doc. Hope you're well, my friend. So yeah, I mean, they're aftermarket wheels, and do you think spokes would look very good? The original hubcap spokes? I don't think so. So I just kind of left things there. So, there's all the appliques, and look, it even took out all the door latches and everything, and yeah, whoever went to such finite detail amid a repaint. But I did, and that's what I had to do, and I enjoyed every minute of it. So there it is.